Welcome to the AG45 Soul Aligned Strategy Podcast, where business meets purpose, growth feels good, and results meet enjoyment. Hosted by Katherine Breuss, CEO and founder of AG45, this show is built on 30 years of hands-on experience across 4 countries, 3 businesses, and 1 incredible life raising 4 children. Katherine brings a rare whole-person perspective to business, strategy, and leadership. This podcast is for business owners ready to stop spinning, start aligning, and build a business that delivers real value while creating a life that actually feels like yours. At the end of the day, you are the engine behind it all. And when you're clear and aligned, everything moves with purpose. It starts with you. Let's dive in.
Welcome, everyone, to the AG45 Soul Line Strategy Podcast. I have with us here today Mitch Prejbeanu. I'm so horrible with remembering names, and this is why I was horrible at remembering a second language. Apologies on that. Prejbeanu. Beautiful, beautiful. So I really want to welcome Mitch to the show, and I am going to pass it over to him. And Mitch, can you just let everybody know about you as well as your business? Because he has got a fine jewelry store called Paul's Jewelers. So I'm going to pass it over to you and would love to hear about it.
Sure. So my name is Mitch Prejbeanu. I'm originally from Romania. I moved here when I was 18. So a friend of mine used to say that I'm more American than he is. And he's probably, because he lives in Romania, he's probably more Romanian than I am. So, 2/3 of my life has been spent here in the United States. So I ended up owning a jewelry store, first a repair and manufacturing facility that's just downstairs from here, and then the jewelry store that's on the first level on High 100 and National in West Dallas. I have 15 employees, and we work directly with the public and with other jewelry stores around town, around the state, and around the country now. So that's what we do. We don't import any jewelry. We make most of everything that we sell. We make them here in house.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I was going to actually ask you that.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Interesting, because a lot of jewelry, my understanding, a lot of it is imported.
Yes, all the stores in the mall, the Zales, Kay's, Jared's, Diamonds Direct, they're all the same corporation, and they own like 20% of the U.S. market, and everything they do is import, and then they manufacture overseas, and they're basically a finance company. We're an actual shop.
Yeah.
So I invite you all to come and visit us. I'll give you a tour of the shop.
Very cool. I really love hearing stories, and particularly, when it is homegrown, things are made here. Not that, I've lived international. I think we should still be international. I have no issues with that, but I do love when I hear the manufacturing's here and it's made here, because it is so rare this day and age.
Yeah.
So Mitch, I'm really curious, why jewelry? And what got you into this
So
business?
I kind of stumbled into it. I went to school for economics and international relations. I never really went into that area. I moved to Florida to get an MBA, and I started working in a really nice restaurant, and I never got my MBA. I moved back here in '98 to take care of my parents, and I started doing credit card processing. I also worked in some other restaurants here locally. I sold CNC parts for machinery. Um, I opened a cafe, opened and closed pretty quickly. And so in 2016, one of my friends worked for the repair and manufacturing shop, and the owner was looking to retire, and he wanted him to take over, but he didn't have any business experience. I did, the limited business experience I had with the cafe. So we partnered and we took over the business. So that's how I became part of the jewelry business. But I don't do any of the work myself. I always say I hire people that are very talented, local artists. And Paul Jewelers was one of our customers, and she approached me, 4 years ago now, and asked me if I want to buy the store and the building. And at first I say, no, why would I want to do retail jewelry? That's, the industry has been in decline for like 40 years now. But the custom and repair parts of it are the only ones that are still doing well, because people that appreciate that part of it, and repairs are needed. So, and she said you can also have the building, and there's room for your company downstairs. So I went and visited the following day, and we both agreed that the space downstairs was perfect for a shop. So her father built the business thinking that would be the shop, but it hadn't happened until 2022, 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago.
Wow, that's really cool. There's a couple things there's a lot of things that strike me, but there's a couple things. One, the fact that you left your home country and came to a new country. And I've lived overseas. And I know how exciting that can be. I also know how hard that can be too. And cultures are different and everything. And so first of all, hats off, because that, it's people who haven't ever done it before. It's hard for them to understand, all that goes with it. And I just think that's really cool. So like, to that, what would you say was like the hardest thing for you, like leaving Romania and coming here? And then what was the most amazing thing?
Yeah, the hardest thing, probably the language.
Mm.
I was 18, and I only started about a year before. I had private tutors come to my house and try to teach me English, but when I got here, it was a little different. So that's probably the hardest part. Um, getting used to Milwaukee. This was 1986. You know, people. We had an apartment on National Avenue, and people would come out of the bowling alley at 3 in the morning, pretty drunk, and they would get into their big cars and driving. I'm like, how is this possible? This is not. There's something wrong here. There's no drinking at 3 in the morning in Romania and driving. So I hope I think that has gone away a little more than
I don't know.
almost 40 years ago. But Wisconsin drinking culture is horrible. The most amazing, I mean, just going into a store. I think we stopped at the Sentry store that night when we came, and when I saw the supermarket and how everybody has like 12 kinds of bread, the choices were overwhelming, but at the same time it's exciting. So coming from a communist country where there was one kind of bread, one kind of olive oil, and that one kind of flour, here there's all these choices, which can be both bad
Yeah.
and good.
I was about to say we probably have too many choices now, but I mean, like,
Yeah, that's why I like Costco, because they usually have the best you can get out of everything, and you don't have to make a choice.
do you know it's interesting? So Costco, so the last country I lived was Australia, and there wasn't like the supermarkets aren't as big, at least where we were here. And when I came back here and I walked into Costco, I remember being like, oh my God, this is massive. I mean, it was just like, I don't know what to do.
But
And you get
you
used to
notice
it.
that they don't have a lot of choices, though.
No, they don't. No,
They
they
pre-shop for you. Yeah.
No, they really don't. And it's, I mean, because, I've got a family, there's five of us, four kids and myself. I love Costco because it's like, wow, I can get so much. But um, I, I know how difficult it can be just assimilating or getting into a new culture. But then on top of it, so all the countries I lived in, English was the first language. So in fact, a lot of people don't know this. Singapore, English is the first language in Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
Even though a lot of people will speak Mandarin and Malay and other languages, but they speak English. I cannot imagine, first of all, getting used to a new culture and then on top of it, not being able to speak the language. And so that's a pretty huge mountain to climb and to do it. And now, you're a business owner, so you came from a different country, you couldn't even speak this language, and now you are a business owner a couple times over, running fine jewelry store. I mean, that's just impressive. That humbles me, and I can appreciate not all of the what it probably took you to get there, but I can appreciate a little bit. So.
Thank you. I also employ other immigrants, and I always say that we try harder than everybody else, than the people that are born here. So
I, I would
it wasn't. I went to MATC to learn the language, and I credit my professor that took me and the Colombian girl. She saw the most potential in us and took us to UW Milwaukee and made us register for classes, like after the first semester. So,
I love it.
yeah.
I met, I was just at one of my clients. They had a company picnic today and I was there. And there was 100 employees and several of them are immigrants. And I was speaking with one. I was very humble because this family built this. They started their business 28 years ago out of their home. They now have this, amazing company that has employed many families, and the impact of that is huge. And this one employee who happens to be an immigrant, not from here, was almost in tears saying, I appreciate this company so much and what they've done for, and my family and me. And he's one of the hardest workers, and it's really like, I mean, I was in tears, when he was telling me this. I was just like, this is why I love small business and small business owners, because the impact you all have, not only within your own family, but the employees, the community, everything.
Yeah, yeah. I do feel responsible for not just for myself, but for all the employees and their families.
It's beautiful. So, Mitch, I want to ask you, so this is the Soul Line Strategy podcast. And so our foundation is working with business owners on that soul aligned piece. And so my question for you on that is, what do you see is soul aligned to you? And what is the impact that when you are more soul aligned than when you're not?
So I think I've just been discovering this in the last year and a half, and we figured that my superpower maybe is hospitality.
Mm.
So I love having people in at my house, in my business. So that's what I decided that that's why I was attracted to restaurants,
Uh-huh.
which are hospitality based, but they're terrible businesses.
Yes.
They're so hard and difficult to run. But I thought of applying that to jewelry and having the our customers be our guests, and they come in, we offer them a cup of coffee, a cookie. So I'm working on a whole new program where we're gonna have a little cafe inside of Paul's Jewelers that
Oh,
will serve coffee and cookies to our customers, and hopefully more than that. I mean,
yeah, champagne.
yes, sure. We always have champagne on hand. Sure. I love doing events. Yeah, yeah. So I don't want to have any sales. We had a retirement sale a couple months ago for the previous owner, and people thought that we're going out of business. We're no, we're doing better than ever, and I don't want to have any more sales. I want to have events where people come in and we share, with them what's new. So that's, hospitality. I think I got that from my parents, and I want to apply it to my business here.
Yeah, I noticed because you worked for a couple restaurants and then you started a cafe and then you closed the cafe. And when you were telling me this, I was like, huh, there's something here about hospitality. And I hear you on that because my career started in hospitality as well, both, doing the whole being a server and a bartender, putting myself through school, and then working in the corporate office. And there is something I absolutely love about that industry, but you hit the nail on the head. It's a terrible business.
Yes, it is. But I do love hiring people that have restaurant experience.
Hmm.
I mean, once you've dealt with
Yep.
hangry people, you can deal with anything. Jewelry is a piece of cake. So
Yes.
the previous owner asked me, "You don't have any retail jewelry experience. How are you gonna manage this?" I said, "I worked in a restaurant before. Don't worry about me."
It's true. I mean, I keep saying to my kids, I'm like, go work in a restaurant, go work in a restaurant. You are
Yeah.
going to learn so much about working in a restaurant. You learn so many crucial skills by working in a restaurant. And, not one has taken me up on it yet. Well, actually, only two are at the age where they could anyway. But
Okay.
they
All right,
tell me,
Rosie.
they're like, it's too hard work. The work is too hard.
You gotta start them early. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Um, so very cool. So I actually, who is your like ideal customer? So you want to do events and it sounds to me like you want to create this experience for them. So
Yes.
tell me who your ideal customer is.
Absolutely. So my hobby lately has been marketing. So this is getting people in the door. So we have two target audiences. They're mid to late age women that have inherited jewelry from their mother or grandmother, and they want to redesign it so it speaks to them. And the other one are, of course, younger men that want to get an engagement ring, and
Yeah.
they don't want to buy from the mall store. They want something special because most likely their fiance doesn't want to copy everybody else.
Hmm.
There's a joke that there were like three women that met, and two of them had the same ring because they went to the same store, and the third one, comes and says, "I had this custom made."
That's nice. That's really,
Yeah.
really nice. I
So
love, I like unique when it comes to anything. So I love when you go to smaller towns or villages and they have the boutique little shops and, whether it's clothes or anything, because I like different. There's something so special, in my humble opinion,
yeah,
about custom.
absolutely. So
Um,
we're a custom shop. We're probably not good at selling jewelry that we have already in our showcases. We sell more custom pieces than jewelry that we already have. So
Well, so it's interesting back to the soul aligned, and you said your superpower. And I love that you use that word as well, because we use that word superpower because we all
yeah,
have our human superpowers. And when we can harness that and translate it into our life and into our business, it's just wow. And so you realize hospitality is your superpower. And so then you started creating this experience. So in terms of jewelry. So what is the impact of you doing that?
well, it's a work in progress. I'm just now planning for the remodel, which will happen in January. So this is, it's, I hope, we attract the people that appreciate that appreciate a new experience. Somebody said it's going to be like a Michelin star restaurant, but without the fancy prices. It's simple coffee that we're going to custom roast for our customers,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and cookies that we're developing. We just have the samples today, the first samples, and they're going to be delicious.
Oh, nice. And I love that you said roasted there, because I will say, and America, don't get pissed off at me for saying this, but America coffee is horrible
Yeah,
compared to the rest of the world. I mean, there are some shops. I'm not going to say all. There have been some that are getting better, but
yeah.
Starbucks people, that is not that is
No,
not coffee. That is just
no,
sugar drinks. They're just giving you
yeah.
sugar drinks. And so I
They're
love
they're
like
milk peddler.
they are. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Like
yeah. They spend more money on milk than on coffee.
I and their coffee isn't even that. It tastes
No.
burnt all the time. And I know so many people are going to be like, probably swearing at me for saying this and stuff, but like, funny enough, Australia, and I never understood this when I was in London. At the time when I was in London, coffee was horrible there. They started bringing in some Italian and French cafes and stuff, but coffee wasn't great. And there were Starbucks on like every other corner. And I'd meet Australians, and my ex-husband's Australian, and we're all Australian as well. But they would go on and on about coffee. And I'd be like, what are you? Are you from Colombia or something? Like, why are you making such a big deal about coffee? You're from Australia. Don't you care about like kangaroos and like Vegemite? Like, what is this about coffee? And then, gosh, and then I became kind of a coffee snob, because then there would be some good cafes and they were coming from Australia. And then when we went to Australia, oh my God, because there's such a heavy Italian and Greek influence that came
Yeah.
in the 60s, I believe it was.
Mm,
Oh my gosh, you could go to like a BP or a petrol a fuel station, gas
right.
station, and you will still get great coffee, and I miss it. So I'm going to come. I don't have any. I have
Yeah.
no one to buy jewelry for.
Yes. So we will sell the bags of coffee here. I
Really?
talk to the roaster. He's here in Milwaukee. We'll also, that's another business idea, because I need to start another business. It's selling coffee to other jewelry stores, personalized, their own
Mm,
specific roast, their own blend.
I
So
love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, I can't drink coffee this late, but as we're talking about it, it's making me like
I just
salivate.
finished mine.
Oh my goodness, it's too late for me, but this sounds really cool. There was and I believe it's in London. A long time ago, we went into it was a jewelry store, custom made, and they had an art show there. And so they had local artists, and they had all of their art around. And it was such, and they had champagne. It was like from 5 to 9 kind of thing, and it was the
Nice.
coolest thing.
Yeah,
It was
of course. Yeah,
so
we have some local artists on our walls as well.
very cool. Well, I definitely want to be like any events you have. I definitely want to be included, because it just seems like a very cool
Coming up
atmosphere.
in October, so we
Oh,
we have a customer appreciation week, or where the the keys. I told you about the keys, that unlock the
Oh, yes.
the treasure chest. And October 16th is a Wauwatosa and West Dallas Chamber of Commerce event, is our third annual Bourbon and Bling event.
Bourbon and bling.
Yeah. So the night starts slowly, like at 5, and the more people drink the bourbon, the more they buy the bling.
Maybe
And
you should
we
have a casino night too.
we
Get the
should.
bourbon and bling. There's a bourbon club that I'm a part of. I don't actually drink bourbon, but I just thought, oh, cool. Like this would be a cool thing. And they Station 1859, I think it is. It's a restaurant downtown. It's called,
Okay.
I could be, but if you like bourbon, maybe check that out because they meet once a month and they try different bourbons
Nice.
and whatnot. So, and Mitch, I could keep talking about all of this stuff with you because it's really cool. But I want to ask you this about the soul line piece in terms of, I'm curious about you opened a cafe and then you had to shut the cafe. Um, I'm curious about that in terms of like, what was your biggest, what was so hard about it and what was your biggest lesson that you learned from that experience?
The biggest lesson was that you cannot try to please everybody. You just have to focus on your market. We had sandwiches and we roasted our own meats. We had beef, we had ham, we had turkey that we roasted in our oven. We got this really cool oven that would clean itself at the end of the day. But it was delicious, and I think we tried to sell the sandwiches, like a 6 or 7 inch sandwich, for like $7. This was 12 years ago, and people would come in and say, but I can get a sandwich, a 5 foot, whatever, a foot long sandwich at Subway. And I said, why are you here? We're like 3 times as good as Subway. Why are you asking me to match Subway? So when we first opened, we also tried to sell salads. Well, not a lot of people eat salads, and my partner wanted to have like 24 different salad dressing offerings. And
A lot.
I know. No, I learned you have one salad dressing and you have vinegar and oil, and that's it. If people don't like it, they can get it somewhere else. So specialize in something, do it better than anybody else, and I think you'll be successful. I think we try too much, and we're probably ahead of our time. And we're also trying to source the vegetables from the local farmers. We had like
Oh,
a club with other restaurants, yeah, an association, like a co-op with other restaurants. And people say that they want to eat healthy, but in the end they go for the Big Mac or the Taco Bell.
and it could be too, like maybe even where it was located or even the times. Like it'd be interesting if you'd open that now, if that would be any different. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, with what I know now, yeah, and it was too complex. So I think we had like 180 ingredients that went into our food, and we closed for like 3 days, and we redid the menu, and we had like 30 ingredients that we could operate a lot more efficiently. Get rid of all the salad dressing. Then yeah, it would have worked if I had put the time into it, but I was burned out of waking up at 3 in the morning and go to bake the bread and everything. So
Yeah. That was like, that reminds me actually. I think I remember growing up and there's like a Dunkin' Donuts commercial and you see
yeah,
the guy going,
that's
time to make the donuts. And he's going in at like 3 a.m. to put the oven, to put
that's
the oven,
exactly it.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I had back issues, so I had to go to a chiropractor. I had sleep issues. I had to go get the sleep study where I stayed there overnight and measure my sleep. So it just wasn't worth, my health. So
No, no. I would say that would not be very soul aligned because I would
no,
say that you weren't getting the results you want. And you were definitely, it sounds like you were not enjoying
no,
the
no.
journey.
So the idea was the same. I like cooking. I love having friends over so I could cook for them.
Mm.
I thought a restaurant would be very similar to that, but it's not. No, when you try to sell something, it's not. And I was tired of telling people to pull out their pants, and
Yeah.
so
Well, it's interesting is that you aren't giving up that like love. You are now figuring out a way of how to integrate it into your current business. And then, thinking about the people who you are serving and
yeah,
what might make sense for them that they might, that there's an alignment there with
yeah,
what you are offering and what they want.
yeah, absolutely. I believe that I've learned, and I think everybody does. Every business that I've been through and I've worked for, I've learned something from it. So I'm I'm not that smart, but I'm curious. So I I retain everything that I've been through. Even the credit card processing, part of it. I worked for a few years.
And do you feel that entrepreneurship or, business ownership like that is in your blood? Like, is that something you owning a business was always something that you feel was what you wanted to do?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah. I think I'm a risk taker, and yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
And
it's probably in my blood. And the both businesses, I took over an existing business that was stable, not super successful because both owners wanted to retire, but I feel a responsibility for, I'm a caretaker of both businesses,
Mm.
like I want to make them better and scale and yeah, just make them more efficient.
So it sounds like another superpower might be that you're a caretaker.
Yeah, could be.
So it could be that.
Yeah,
I, I
we don't have any kids, but I always say, my employees are my kids.
Well, I'm guessing that just like hearing you speak since we've been talking, I think entrepreneurship is in your blood. And I think as well that and all entrepreneurs or anybody who starts a business is you're you have a belief in yourself to take a risk on yourself and bank on yourself, which I just, for me is like, hats off because that's pretty cool in itself.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I'll take it as a compliment.
It is a compliment. And also,
We're also a little crazy.
yes, yes, there is
Yeah,
a little bit of insanity to
yeah,
us. But the other thing is too, definitely a true like entrepreneur in your blood because you shut down a business and then what did you do? You you went and you did another
yeah, yeah,
one. You didn't say,
yeah.
okay, I'm done. That's it. I'm going to find a job. Like,
No, it was just the wrong business at the wrong time.
yeah. Yeah. And that's what I actually will say. Okay, even though I don't believe America has great coffee, I do I do believe and in my, years overseas and travels and whatnot, what America has is this entrepreneurial spirit as a culture that I haven't ever seen to that same degree in any other country I've been in.
Yeah,
And
absolutely right. Yep.
yeah, there's even people who are employees. There's more of an entrepreneurial spirit to them, and that I love and I really respect, and I want that to continue to grow and expand. And you're
Yeah.
doing it day in and
I
day out.
yeah. I hope so. if you find a way to teach my employees how to be more entrepreneurial, let me know.
Well, if there is one piece of advice before we wrap up, Mitch, to other entrepreneurs or business owners, what would it be?
I think what we talked about before, don't try to be everything to everybody. Just find your niche and do it better than everybody else. Faster, cheaper, better, mostly better. Do it better than everybody else, and do something that you love, and you'll succeed.
Mm, love it. Mitch, really want to thank you for your time. It has been such a pleasure, and I've really enjoyed our conversation and look forward to more and even having you again.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was painless. It was very, very nice talking to you.
I love it. All right, Mitch, take care.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on the AG45 Soul Aligned Strategy Podcast. If you're ready to align your soul with your business, take back your time, and grow with intention, we'd love to connect. Visit accelerategrowth45.com to schedule a call, apply to be a guest, or take the next step toward building a soul-aligned business. At AG45, we believe when business meets value, wealth meets legacy, and time meets freedom, the journey becomes truly enjoyable. Until next time, stay aligned, stay inspired, and keep building your legacy.